Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace. Monetary energy, core of the earth, doubles every year. Listen to my words. Selling doesn't hurt. Selling is absurd. It's like cutting off your wings, but you want to be a bird.
Okay, welcome back guys. We're going to do a little bit more technical analysis today, and as you can see, I've got you already on the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily, and as you can see, we have broken above. And currently, as what we need to do is, if we just put a single line here, you can see that this is actually not so we've got another line, trend line now. We need to get to the 50. We are going to get to the 50, but that's all because the market is dumping. As you can see, let's refresh. This is from yesterday. We've got the volume coming back in, which is good, but also at the same time the market is dumping. As you can see here, a lot of buying and selling pressure going on. Market cap holding at the 1.16 trillion dollar mark, just close to the $2 trillion mark. And I have mentioned this on a specific video regarding, let's have a look. We'll go back to all of these guys. We'll go back to all of these. Oh yeah, here we are. So the total market cap, we did mention this yesterday. We said, like, you know, this trend line is significant, the 1.1. So we are kind of holding it. We did wick below. If we come any lower, unfortunately we can't go further. So we are going to keep a close eye on this to see what's going on. But today's video is more to do with, like, now that we have this situation, what are you going to do, right? So we have got a situation where dominance is looking good. This is a plus point. So this is what you should be taking on board, that this is a plus point, right? From all of the situations we've ever had, this is the best plus point we've ever had, right? So this is a good thing. I'm not going to go deep into the pattern. This is a chart I have shown you before. We are going to make some changes on this particular chart. And as you can see, exactly where we had our support we have. And this technically gives us the double bottom. So this is a technical double bottom. Is it going to hold? Maybe not, but we're going to go deeper into this to see what we should be doing right now. Right, I was looking at this stock to flow earlier on today, and I thought, okay, let me have a quick look at the stock to flow and see what's going on. And as you can see, we are slightly below the stock to flow model, so I'm not going to focus too much on the stock to flow at the moment. But here, as you can see, we mentioned yesterday's video, we said we are going to have this highly possibility to come and touch, and I've mentioned it in past two videos, that we are going to have a high possibility to come and touch in this specific zone here. And we did that. Also here, I talked about how we're going to get into this particular zone, and this is more like a quicksand zone. So this can drag us down all the way up to here, but then on the way back up, remember, so if we do see market moving back up, and we see the market wants to go back up again and comes back into this zone, this is when we should be seeing a move. But this is not going to be something that's going to happen over a single day or something like this. It's going to happen over time, right? This is a chart we drew very recently. If you remember, we drew a chart very recently, and we put a median line here, and we put a couple of points here to say where we should be going. Unfortunately, these points right now are kind of invalid, so we're not going to focus on those, but we're focusing on the trend line itself. And as you can see, the trend line held. So this is a median trend line which actually held pretty good, right? Unfortunately, if you look closely, the target we had, so we wicked below this. Technically you can say we wicked below this, but this is on a 4-hourly. This is why you're seeing a 4-hour candle. Is it possible for us the next candle that we open? So let's go on an hourly, and when it loads, right, so on the hourly, as you can see, same thing. So this was the wick on the hourly. Is it possible we have a rebound, or are we going to continuously test this line until we break this line? I've got a high probability that we are going to. So we need to get to the other charts to see what's going on. This is the total, so let's not look at this. Right, now this is a chart that I drew very recently, and I actually sent a picture to some of the groups. Right, and I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and you know, I made some analysis here, and I said, look, this is what's going on. So what we were looking at was basically, this is from the day we dumped to the day we went, we had a 400 day. Okay, so we just had a 400-day. So I'm just calculating this particular level here. So I'm calculating the bottom to the top, and I'm looking for the 50% mark, which I've marked here with a red line. This is the 50% mark. Then what we had was a bull flag, right? So from here to here, we had a bull flag, right? And I'm trying to look at when does this bull flag, so this is the flag pole, when is it invalidated? And it actually invalidates around here. So we can see that we have invalidated it on this particular candle here. So this candle didn't, we just wicked below, but this specific candle actually invalidated the 50% mark, and that takes us to a whole different league, right? So now that we've got this, we need to see basically, right? So we're currently here. Let's have a look currently here. What we need to see is how far can it actually take us, right? And what's the worst case scenario? And on the worst case scenario, as you can see on the Fibonacci, right? So we're looking at the Fibonacci lines here. It is actually showing us that we could have a possibility of the 20K, all right? The 20K is definitely in play. So we're looking at all of these, and also these white lines, as you can see here, I've put in. So one of the white lines, so this specific white line here is the 2019 top, and this is the 2017 top, right? So what we're doing is we're calculating all of these as well and saying, okay, what's the worst case scenario? So remember I mentioned in this particular chart, where is it? Let's have a look. This particular chart, remember I mentioned here how we've never in history come back to a certain level. So even in 2019, when we had this, we've never come back, right? That's what you need to see. We do this, and then we go over time, and we never come back to these levels, right? We never come back to these particular levels. So currently we're holding strong. We're holding strong here. We might come down and hover, but I don't think we're going to touch this particular line. So obviously I've mentioned one other thing as well. I said, look, I'm very, very bullish right now. The reason is this is a golden opportunity to buy, right? This is a golden opportunity to buy. So this, now that we've invalidated it, we are going to be in a temporary bear cycle. And this is the zone, basically. This is like the perfect buying zone that we've got here. So we just have to see how far and what the bulls are going to do right now. Bears have total control. But there's more to this chart than meets the eye, and that's what I want to show you, right? So for that, I'm going to take this off, and I'm just going to focus on one specific area here, right? One specific area here. So what I want to show you is we had, so this here, this is on a daily candle, right? I can make it on lower time frame, but doesn't matter. So we had this particular trend line forming, right? And this is known as an ascending wedge. So remember the purple line here, the purple lines, right? So this is known as an ascending wedge. Now, if any one of you know about the patterns, an ascending wedge is a bearish pattern. This is why I was very, very cautious, right? Because this is an ascending wedge, which is also a very bearish pattern, means it will always break down. It looks like it's going up, but it's not. However, if we look at a longer time frame on this white line, right? So let's zoom in even more. If we look at a longer time frame, what do we see? We see a descending wedge. Now, a descending wedge has a habit of breaking out. It's very bullish. So this, we can adjust it. Let's put it here, and also let's put it here. And as you can see, it's still confirming a descending wedge. A descending wedge will hover around these specific lines. So I can leave this line here. In fact, I'll make this chart public so everyone can see. So we zoom it in. Let's go here. Right, let's put it here. So what we've got is our lovely little wedge. Let's make this save layout, auto save, no. Let's make this public, right? So this would be on the public link, the usual public link. You'll find it there. So what we have here is a descending wedge, which is actually a very, very bullish, right? So what it can do, what we can be expecting is maybe go and bounce around a little bit, right? So obviously we've invalidated the bull flag. That's all we've did, right? But it doesn't mean we're out of the market. And what we can see is maybe at some point come and test around here. And normally this usually breaks out. So, you know, unfortunately with the wedge, what you will see, and let me just show you this, right? What you'll understand more. Let's get back to this level here. So with the wedge, what you will see is something like this, right? So wedge will keep on closing itself, right? A wedge will come and keep on closing itself, right? And so this is like, you know, of course you're looking at it and you're like, damn, this is so bearish. It is, it looks bearish. In fact, everything is going to indicate bearish. Remember, the market always does the opposite to what you think. So what we might see is a situation over the next few days where we go up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Keep on touching this, right? We're going to do all of this. And then at some point we break out. And this is going to be the point when it catches you out. So far, this particular wedge that we've had here, where we've had our ups and downs, right? This one here, we've had our ups and downs and we broke down, which is perfect. It was supposed to do that. It could have done it here. It could have done it here. It could have done it anywhere here, but it will always break down because it's an ascending wedge, right? And now we've got a descending wedge, a bigger thing at play, which is the descending wedge, which means that we will go and probably test this line a little bit more and eventually break out, right? But ultimately, remember one thing, even when it does break out, there are actually other patterns that we need to be looking at. So one of the other patterns, and I'll draw it right now and actually leave it here for you, would be this particular area here. So if we just go into this candle here, put a line here, and this line should show up on the chart. And what you're going to understand is, even so, all of this, you know, the way we're coming down, so we've had this pattern where, you know, we've broken out of this particular range. We're now going to be playing in this particular zone here. Whatever way we play it, we're going to come up. We have to confirm this upwards momentum and then basically get above this particular line for us to confirm. So what you're looking at is there is this 40,000, 41,000 now has become a massive resistance for us. And if we can bring it back above that, we should be okay. So the only thing you should be concerned about right now, right, let me get rid of this. So the only thing we should all be concerned about, right, and to be honest, right, is that the bull flag has been invalidated, right? So the only thing that's been invalidated is this bull flag, nothing else, right? The run is still up, and I mentioned this on yesterday's video as well. I said technically, right, so even though we can see this particular pattern forming, right, also, I mean, most of you guys that know head and shoulders pattern also will notice that this is also a head and shoulders, right? So but it's not fully confirmed. So let's see head and shoulders. Let's get head and shoulders for you just to show you what we're seeing. Head and shoulders, right? This is a head and shoulders, right? So we've got this, 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 this. Now you do know head and shoulders will always break down. So we were looking for an inverse head and shoulders, which is on a mini pattern here. We did have an inverse head and shoulders, but it didn't really play out as it should. So the inverse head and shoulders that we saw was along this particular level here, right, where we had this line here, right, you know, giving us the inverse head and shoulders. As you can see, we should have come somewhere around here, tested it again, and then gone up. So there's two patterns playing here. Inverse hasn't happened yet, so we're not going to focus on that. Currently, what we are seeing is the normal head and shoulders looking like it's going to be coming out, but anything that will come down, there's some, I mean, we've got significant resistance here, support here, but although at the same time looking at this makes me even more bullish, because having an ascending wedge is a very, very powerful technical pattern, right? When we see this specific technical pattern here where all these are inside this particular zone, right, it is going to be a very powerful move. What we need to see is for us to build a zone somewhere and actually create a triangle, right? So what we need to do is, if we are going to come to these levels here, sorry, 1 second. So if, my bad, let's get rid of this. I put the wrong one. If we are going to come and do something around this level, what I really want to see is something like this. So what I'm talking about here is I want to see a ascending triangle. Whatever happens, that's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping I could see that very soon. So ascending triangle would be something like this. We need to get it here, and I want to see this pattern play out. Whatever happens, I want to see this pattern play out, and I want to see it play out from this particular level here. So this is what I'm seeing. So this is what I just wanted to update you guys and say, look, guys, what I'm seeing here is actually very, very bullish. Means that this is the golden opportunity to buy as much as possible. The ascending wedge has played out. exactly as it was supposed to, and it has broken down. This is why it was a very, very crucial thing that, guys, even though everything looks very bullish, excuse me, even though everything looks very bullish, we are actually very bearish right now. Let's bring another chart. I want to show you quickly. So this is the 2-year, sorry, this is the golden multiplier. I wanted to show you on the golden multiplier where we are coming. We are actually coming to this particular level here, and then we should see a nice little significant bounce, right? Also, remember earlier on, I spoke about this before as well. I said it's very rare we come below this line. It's very rare. So these are the 2020 dump, for example. This is a 2017 dump. So as you can see, it's very rare. It's not that often, unless we come into an extended bear market for a few years. We do not go below this, and even if we did briefly come below this, we do have explosive moves. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, this is the point. So this is where so this is not a financial advice, but this is what I'm going to say to everybody, right? If we come to this line, we might have a rebound, one or the other. We might have an actual rebound from this line, coming back to the green zone and then going up again. If we did have a scenario play like this, and I'll adjust this just to kind of show you what's going on. So all of this drawings, we don't actually need currently. So I'm going to get rid of this. So I'm going to get rid of all the drawings here. We don't need them, all right? And what we are looking for is very simple, right? So we're going to come here and let's do some drawings, right? So we're going to do fresh drawings here. So what we're looking for is we've got our mega trend line here, right? This is our mega trend line, right? So this is the downward mega trend line. We're now forming this particular line here. So let's come all the way back from here, right? Sorry, my bad, wrong one. Don't know why I do this sometimes, especially when I'm not wearing glasses. So we got this. This is a descending triangle. Not so good. We're not going to look at this. Okay, this is a descending triangle, not entirely a wedge. Also, now if we draw our wedge, you can see, so we've got the bodies, right? This is where the wedge is, and you can see from here, this is our wedge, right? So we've got a wedge within a this was bearish, which is fine. This is bearish. For us to be bullish again, we need to get above this line. If we do come out of this particular zone here, then as a support, what you can see is we have a few. So we have one support around here, and we have another good support around here, right? So these are the two specific supports that we can see, and we're not using any tools or anything else to basically calculate this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one more line just to point out where the market top is, right? And you can see here the market top was around here as well. And let me change the size and the color so you'll understand. So we've got a red line and a white line. The white line is what I've just put in, as you can see, based on fundamentals, based on these particular areas here. This is what we see. And ultimately, as you can see, this is a falling wedge. A falling wedge is always very bullish. Now, this would be a great buy zone. This would be a great buy zone. We just have to basically kind of be patient with BTC. It is going to take a few months for us to come back, but if we do fall below this, so if we did have a pattern to say, okay, we're going to go below this and we're going to go like this, for example, this would be the same as where we were. One second, let me zoom into this area here. This would be the same as like this. I think this is what, if this was to fall down here, it will turn out to be like this. Is a high probability of it being like this. So let's see what happens. Everybody just got to be very patient right now. So what I'm going to say is, if you bought BTC or any altcoins or anything like this, if you haven't followed my instructions of taking the profit ASAP, right? So taking your money out as soon as possible, then do not sell for a loss. Whatever you do not sell for a loss. If you are buying for the next 5 years, it's fine. You're fine. You don't get affected, right? So those guys, you're not affected. Anybody who's trying to trade, highly recommend do not touch any trades. This is the worst time to touch any trades. You might want to do a short, you could get burnt out. You might want to do a long, you could get burnt out. So don't do anything stupid. So very simple. If you're at a loss, and you haven't followed the instructions of taking your profit out as soon as possible. Because I know a lot of guys, they buy, they see 100% pump, they're like, oh, we're going to have another 100% pump. Guys, remember what I said to you, I'm a 1% guy. If I could make 1% or anything more than 1%, I'm out. I'll leave my profit, but I'll take my initial out, because it's far more easier for me to have my cash ready to buy these kind of opportunities, right? So you all know that I've been, making sure that I'm out in cash as much as possible for some time now. And I've been waiting, and I waited on the 30k dip, but I didn't go all in, right? So whatever I had at that time, I put it in, but I had plenty more. And so now I'm waiting around these levels to basically buy these opportunities. Even if it comes here, I'll still buy, right? I'm more bullish here than I would be here, put it this way, right? Because these are opportunities that we'll never get. I can tell you this. This is my personal thing, right? When we got to this level, right, I believed, and I think most of the TA guys, they also believed as well, we will never get back to this level. We never thought we are going to go anywhere below the 30k mark. If you're coming back to the 20k mark, this is one hell of an opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, because as you can see, we have never ever, from what I showed you before, right, we have never ever come back to these levels once we've completed a cycle. So this, as I said, it plays more like the 2013 level. So it's more like the 2013, where we might have a peak and then another peak. That's what I want to see. And this would be the best buying opportunity ever. I doubt it's even going to come here, but I've still got a set order around here. I've got a feeling a lot of the whales are sitting around this level, ready to buy. And I've been watching. So far we've had news of how everything is bearish. But at the same time, companies like PayPal, companies, MicroStrategy, this, that, they're not only just buying Bitcoin, they're also now investing in cryptocurrency projects, openly investing. This is what they want to do. There's so many different companies out there, Blockchain Capital, this, that, so many others, right? I'm not going to mention the names, but they're all getting ready to open up fresh new companies, and invest in companies. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars being put aside for these events, right? Because they know that, and I've mentioned this before as well, that around these levels here, I was working on a cryptocurrency project myself, and we worked on 2 different projects. And around these levels here, we actually launched, right? And we did a beta launch. So it was a closed community launch as a test. And we realized the market volatility was increasing the price of the coin too much. So we took the coin off the market, right? We said, no, we're going to abandon the project. So rather than leaving the project there and then harming people, we completely took the project and we burnt it, right? And we said, once the bull run is over, we are going to relaunch this particular coin. So we're going to recode it, do it all over again. Now, this opportunity right now, everyone can see that anybody launching a coin here, right, we are going to see some massive gains. So if it's a legit company and they launch a coin here, the potential they have is just insane. So for example, even if we came to this level here, the potential you can see like a BTC going to 100k, right, at the dominance level of say 50%. Well, guess what? It's going to carry the whole market up. It will carry the whole market up. So these are the kind of stuff I'm looking at. But as I said, this is some crazy stuff I'm seeing. And everything is saying that we need to go up, especially this short term, or not short, but slightly long term wedge here. And remember what I said, guys. This is very important. Remember exactly what I said. You want to be bullish, or say for example, you want to you buy in these zones here right now. This is your buy zone. Anywhere below this line, this particular line here, is a buy zone. Once we go beyond this level, once we come back to a level where once we go above this level, it's cycle's going to turn. This is the opportunity you've got, right? This is the opportunity. Even another thing I've just seen, and I think I've mentioned it. The other thing, obviously, on this particular chart, just put it here as well. Same thing as we did on the other one, right? So this would be our neckline at the moment. This would be our pattern, this would be our neckline. Whatever direction we go, we might come all the way down here in these particular zones and then shift back up. When we do, we need to break above this line, we need to break above this line to confirm, and that's it. Off to the moon, you know. So makes me more and more bullish right now than I was before. So I hope all of this kind of makes sense, what we need. This chart, is it this one or the other one? I think, yeah, this one I've actually made public for you guys. What I'll do, just adjust this a little bit. Let's adjust this. So this is, remember, this is the pattern we are looking for, right? This is the pattern we're looking for. This is the neckline we need to break above. And once we do, then we should start seeing some bullish action. Also, as I said, this is our bigger trend line that we need to break above, right? So we've got multiple structures here which we need to break above to confirm. So this specific chart, with all of its writing and all of its current drawing, will be available for everybody if you use the link below in the description. Also, guys, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. This is the kind of stuff we do. We do deep dive stuff. We do stuff that people don't talk about. I'm not here to pump coins, or I'm not here to create FUD or anything. In fact, in this channel, we ignore all the noise. All right, we ignore all the noise. So all this China news, this news, that news, you know, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it's just news. Who cares if China doesn't want to mine it? We don't care. Right? We don't care. First of all, people cared about, people were making a big fuss how China has all the biggest mining hash rate. Right? Now it doesn't, and they're still moaning. Come on, guys. When are you going to actually just let it win? When, you know, it's bad if China has it, and now it's bad if China doesn't have it. Make your mind up. Right? You can't have it both ways. You got to decide, right? So this is the kind of a drama we get. And yeah, I just ignore it, because when you're seeing these kind of stupid news, you'll see hidden bullish news in there. So if cryptocurrency is so bad, if Bitcoin is so bad, if all the altcoins are so bad, then why are institutions, and I'm talking about trillion-dollar institutions, right, multi-billion-dollar institutions, investing in crypto, or crypto companies, or making funds available to open new crypto projects? This is all I'm asking. This is what I ask yourself this question. If it's so bad, why are they doing it? Well, I'll tell you why they're doing it. From my point of view, they are doing it so they can front run you, and they'll be selling the product to you, right? So anyone here who's panicking and selling, you'll buy definitely, right? But you're going to buy at a higher rate after they've decided that it's time for them to sell to you. So all the diamond hands right now are going to be holding. As I said, I mentioned it from here. I said I sold here in cash. Whatever my holding portfolio is, it's still there. But I'm, you know, not selling anymore, right? Especially BTC. I wasn't selling any BTC. I sold a few, but that's only because I want to buy this dip, right? Other than that, majority of my holding portfolio is intact. In fact, as I've mentioned on many videos, I don't have access to my holding portfolio. It's a one direction thing, so anything that goes in never comes out. Okay, so that's a different story. And also, like, people like Michael Saylor buying another $500 million worth, and this and that, crazy. Stock market takes the dump. So this is something I'm also, so this one is me being kind of hypothetical here. I have a feeling if the stock markets crash, we might see money coming into Bitcoin. Some guys are saying possibly not, but I think it's something we don't know. It's very new. So let's see what happens. The money, if the money is going to be going down in the stocks, depends. It could easily go into gold. I know some of the guys are putting into gold, which is fine, but gold is also dumping. So when you look at the market, you can see everything is dumping. It's not just crypto. You got the stocks, you got the bonds, right? Everything is dumping. So there's going to be a shift, massive shift. We've had a massive shift already. I mean, a lot of people made a lot of money up to this point here. So question now is how many more people are going to make even more money when we go up to these 6 figures, right? Because the 6 figures are still there. I don't know if you saw when I did this, right? So from here to where we are currently, if I do just do currently, we don't even have to go far. You can see already we've got 6 figures there, right? Obviously, we've got a lot of areas to beat, go above, right? But we're definitely going to get there. you know, because so far the curve, right, the trend line we're looking at. So if I just put it on weekly just to show you, right, just to show you what I mean. So as you can see, the greater trend line, right, so the greater trend line that we have, yeah, so I mean this chart doesn't have too much data, but just enough just to show you the greater trend line that we would have is from here, for example, going through here, right, going through here. As you can see, the greater trend line is still intact, and we have a larger probability of getting into the higher numbers. This is just this little bit of a dip, little bit of a correction, and as I said, this is where they accumulate. So they will be accumulating a lot of money around here, and then we need to break above. So I'll leave all the lines here messy. You can do whatever you want with it. You can copy the chart, make it yours, do whatever you want, but this is what we've got. This is what we've got, and this is what we expect. We do expect it to calm down a little bit more and then shoot up. So I'm going to leave you guys with this one, not talk anymore. I hope this kind of makes sense, how I'm feeling. So I'm not giving you any financial advice. What I'm doing, how I'm feeling, and what I advise you not to do if you're at a loss. I hope you understand this, and I hope now more than ever it makes sense that why I kept on saying, guys, it doesn't matter if a coin gives you 1,000%, 100%. Take your initial investment out ASAP. Never risk your initial investment. This is why I've kept on saying this for a very long time. Watch any of the videos that I've had from before. It says how to take your profits out and this and that. There are plenty of videos there. I've got more than like 200 videos. Have a look at the specific one that says how to take your profit, part 1, part 2, and you'll understand more exactly what I mean and what you should have been doing and what you should always do. Okay, always take your initial investment out ASAP, leave your profit, and then play with your initial investment as long as you want. This way you will never lose any money. Yes, you make less percentage, but overall, over time, you're always better off than anybody who's bought it here, holding and losing money. Because this is anybody buying and holding is not a problem, but this would be a 5-year plan, right? But you who's got your initial investment out, you could buy at any one point, buy and sell the dips all day long. So like, share, subscribe. Adios. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'll see you on another one.